This is Rozwarowo, a village in northwestern Poland. For 30 years, farmer Alfred Smolczynski has been fighting to save the wetlands that surround the village. They're key to maintaining a rich ecosystem, one ready to welcome home an endangered songbird.
I'm really happy that these rare birds will be nesting here again, and that we're really doing everything we can to preserve their natural habitat.
With Alfred's help, Polish bird conservationists want to release a large group of young birds from the moors of eastern Poland into the wild here. Several other villagers have decided they too want to help protect the region's natural habitat.
It's amazing that so much is happening in our small village. We're committed to biodiversity. Preserving it is our main goal.
Alfred runs a thriving business that thatches roofs using natural materials. He's lived in the sparsely populated lowlands of northwestern Poland since the late 1980s. Back then, land was cheap, but the soil was depleted. Alfred had the idea of growing reeds in the area, which helped the land recover.
We have a lot of storks this year, and they're doing well. We've had good weather, and there's been a lot of rain, which is why they're finding plenty of food. It's why there are 3 to 4 birds in each nest.
Alfred is 66 and a long way from retiring. These days, Rozwarowo is surrounded by hundreds of hectares of wetlands. But when Alfred arrived in the 1980s, these areas were dried out and lying fallow. Alfred built a pump, constructed new canals, and began controlled flooding of the area to help the land recover. The natural wetlands created between the reed fields became home not only to grazing cows, but many other animal and plant species as well. Species that were once native to the area. The cultivated landscape became a rich ecosystem. Today, the area is part of the EU's Natura 2000 program to promote biodiversity throughout Europe.
Come, come, come. There's something here for you.
Among the reeds and marshes, there's also room for Alfred's small herd of cattle.
As you can see, there are many birds here. We're really pleased that they've come. Many rare bird species nest here.
But one species of songbird has disappeared in recent years. At his company, Alfred welcomes members of the Polish Bird Protection Association, OTOP, with whom he's collaborated for many years. Today, they brought the parts needed to build large aviaries in the area, meant to house 35 aquatic warblers. With Alfred's help, they plan to release and reintroduce the songbird over the next few weeks. It was still native here just a few years ago.
It's a great opportunity for me and others to observe what they're doing. I really admire these people. They're so committed to restoring our aquatic warbler population.
The team uses special tractors to transport the aviaries to the reed fields. The nesting areas for aquatic warblers have been decimated everywhere by agriculture and the steady loss of wetlands. The species has retreated deeper and deeper into Eastern Europe over the years. Now it's set to return to the region's moors. Krzysztof Kałużny oversees several bird sanctuaries in northwestern Poland. He and his team of professionals and volunteers must feed the young birds every half hour, from sunrise to sunset. Aquatic warblers will only eat live food.
Right? Mealworms, white ones, they are best. Very tasty. So for the smallest birds, these white ones are better.
With this translocation program, we bring chicks from Biebsie National Park to the Rozwarowo marshes to release them into the wild. We need to do this because the population of the West Pomeranian aquatic warbler has collapsed. These birds have practically disappeared from the area. One reason we're here is that the area still has decent habitats for these birds. The last individuals living in the wild were observed in this region.
Krzysztof keeps meticulous records of the feedings. Back at Alfred's company, the reed he uses for his work is harvested in winter and stored in a large barn. Alfred selects a few bundles for a small repair job in the neighborhood.
Reed is unique because it's a natural material that has been used by humans for centuries, primarily for roofing, of course. Later, it was also used for insulation, cladding, and plastering, back when artificial materials such as rock wool weren't available yet.
Reed is a sustainable building material. Called thatching reed when it's dried and processed, the plant is a renewable raw material that stores a lot of CO2. Repairing thatched roofs is simple. With good care, these roofs can last for many decades.
I've been passionate about reeds all my life because my grandfather, my father, my uncle, my whole family settled here in West Pomerania after the war.
Rozwarowo lies in the far northwest of Poland, close to the German-Polish border. It belonged to Germany until the end of World War II. After its German inhabitants were forced to leave, the area was settled by families from southeastern Poland who had also lost their homes. Around 50 people live here today. Magda Saletra loves animals and rents out vacation apartments. She's hosting the team of bird conservationists for the next 4 weeks.
Come here, little goslings. Come here and drink.
I'm totally connected with the nature because I live in the nature, and I am so glad that I can be here. And I cannot imagine living in a big city. It's not for me anymore. Hey, Krzysztof.
Cześć.
Hey.
Cześć.
Krzysztof shows Magda where the 35 chicks to be released into the wild come from.
The birds all come from the Biebsie Valley National Park. The population of this species is consistently stable there, and there really are a lot of these birds. The removal of the chicks even encourages them to make another breeding attempt, the females in particular. It's crucial that the animals in the nests are of a certain age. They must be around 7 to 8 days old. Then they can be collected. The birds are transported at night because they don't eat at night.
Magda was one of the first to support the reintroduction initiative.
We have very similar goals. That's why I'm wholeheartedly supporting the campaign and keeping my fingers crossed that it will be successful. I hope there will be more such reintroductions in the future.
Magda is an environmental activist herself. She and a friend run an eco-initiative in the village.
With our foundation, we try to persuade people to keep their gardens in a different, more natural way. It's about giving nature space in the garden, not using artificial fertilizers and snail poisons, but learning to work together with nature.
Magda is collecting flowers for a village festival happening the next day. She and a friend organized the event to attract more people to the bird conservation project. Alfred is one of the first to arrive. The young aquatic warblers are too fragile to be shown to visitors, so an ornithologist demonstrates the individual steps involved in releasing them back into the wild using empty nests and cages.
When they got a bit bigger and had no more room here in the nest, we moved them into these large cages. Here's a small door.
Yes, here's the door.
This is where they live.
Magda has a job and a family, but has found time to be actively committed to protecting the environment since 2019. It's not always easy to motivate her neighbors in the village to support nature conservation, and she hopes today's festival will help promote her passion.
I didn't expect that many people come. I mean, maybe around 20, but I think there are more people, and some new are coming still. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So let's get started. Let's go on the stage. Dzień dobry, witamy wszystkich.
Magda knows many visitors, their neighbors, friends, even relatives. Some guests have come from the nearby town of Kamienie-Pomorskie, and even from Szczecin. She shows a film by the bird conservationists about last year's successful trial release. Because it went so well, the team is continuing the project this year. Its aim is to find a permanent home for the aquatic warbler in its native habitat.
I can hardly put into words how valuable this is for us local landowners. The aquatic warblers were here for centuries, which was always a blessing for us. And they probably stayed here in Rozwarowo for so long because we flooded and watered the fields. And where the aquatic warbler is, other species come too. Thank you very much.
Well-attended events like this are also an opportunity for Magda to present what she's doing to promote local biodiversity. She hopes that she can inspire others to do the same.
It's incredible that so much is happening in such a small village. From the planting of our tiny forest 3 years ago to the event that is taking place today.
Planting that tiny forest on a small plot by the village involved around 200 volunteers who planted 4,500 trees, some 30 native species, over 3 weekends. Her friend Agnieszka helped organize the project.
Near schools, hospitals, supermarkets, or parking lots. These are all suitable areas for planting a tiny forest like this one. The trees provide shade and cooler temperatures and protect against noise.
In its 3rd year, the forest is already impenetrable, and many of the trees are around 3 meters high. The tiny forest is the first of its kind in Poland. Magda and Agnieszka are hoping others will do the same in concrete-covered Polish cities. Today, Rozwarowo stands out with its half-timbered houses and thatched roofs. That's thanks to the efforts of people like Alfred. Grandson Czarek is visiting to help out while his grandmother is away on a family visit. Alfred wants to show his grandson pictures from the time when he first came to the village in the 1980s. In the beginning, he didn't have any real harvesting machines, just a rickety transporter. He had to assemble the first machines himself. But lack of technology was not his only problem. Some criticized his efforts to restore the wetlands.
Some people, even wildlife experts, disagreed with me. They thought what I was doing was bad for nature. And at the very beginning, that was an insurmountable barrier.
That resistance softened, but only gradually. Alfred says he's learned a lot over the years.
Our activities indirectly contribute to the great biodiversity we find here. But it took time for me to realize that. When I first came here to work on the land with my parents and grandparents, we didn't know anything about environmental protection. Back then, this topic was completely foreign to us. We had no idea that there was such a thing as a nature scientist.
Today, Alfred is a sought-after discussion partner on the topic of wetlands for scientists throughout the Baltic Sea region. His advice is also valued by the Ministry of Agriculture in Warsaw. The bird conservationists have been in the village for 3 weeks. It's time to relocate the aquatic warblers to their outdoor aviaries. Krzysztof performs a few final checks. His colleagues carrying the young birds in their white cages are heading his way on one of Alfred's harvesters. The team puts the warblers into the large aviaries nestled in the reeds. The young birds can now get to know their new living environment while still protected from danger by the bars of the enclosure.
People who live here, they know about this aquatic warbler. For them, it is some kind of symbol of this region. They know what they have, and they try to protect also. So this is one of these places that are crucial for that kind of projects like this one, like translocation of aquatic warbler.
The next step for these birds is to adapt to the new environment, which, among other things, means getting used to the food. That's why Krzysztof and his team are feeding the birds even more native insects. At the height of summer, the entire moor is buzzing. The bird conservationists are mainly targeting grasshoppers and horseflies because they have a high nutritional value. The young birds are given these insects as a supplement to the mealworms that make up most of their diet.
These are wild bugs, wild insects. It's good for the birds to have the same kind of food that they have that can catch in the environment. So it's good to feed them also because of enzymes and all the stuff.
The captured insects can easily escape through the bars of the aviaries, which is why the young aquatic warblers need to move fast to catch them. They'll need to do the same later in the wild. In effect, they're being trained how to hunt. A few days later, Alfred has an appointment with 2 employees of a local cattle farmer, a friend who's originally from France. He and his grandson Czarek drive to the national park on the island of Wolin, a few kilometers away. The island has many neglected wet meadows that have become almost barren. Alfred wants to change that. The boat takes the men deep into the swamps of the national park. Alfred has leased 550 hectares of land from the national park and persuaded several cattle farmers to take their cattle out of the stables and let them graze here for 6 months of the year. The animals keep the grass short, creating space for other plants. They fertilize the soil with their droppings and attract insects, which serve as food for the birds. And the cattle also benefit from the additional exercise and lush green fodder.
When people stopped using these meadows, nature took over. Only birches and willows grew here, and all the biodiversity practically disappeared. Now there's lots of biodiversity again. Amphibians, reptiles, not to mention birds and plants. A whole range of species. And it's all thanks to the cows.
Local farmers have realized that the quality of the meat the cattle yield has also improved over time, thanks to better food and more exercise for the animals.
It's quite remarkable, because over the years we've found that they feel very comfortable here and are in better physical condition. They're in better condition than those that are left to stand in the stable. Here they get strong naturally and have plenty of food available. As you can see, these are large areas.
It's a big day in the wetlands of Rozwarowo. Time to release the birds. Barely 4 weeks after the nests with the chicks arrived here, the birds are big enough to face life in the wild. They'll be given additional food for a few more days, but as of today, the doors of the enclosure are open, and the aquatic warblers are free to roam.
No to co, grande finale.
It takes a while for the birds to realize that they can leave the aviary. The elevated cage opening allows the small birds to get out, but ensures predators can't get in when the warblers return.
The birds will stay here about a couple of weeks and start the migration. Probably it will be just in the coast of Baltic Sea, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, and then North Africa to Senegal. So it's like 2 ways, it's like 13,000 kilometers. Something magical from the birds that can, so small animals can reach this long distance without any problems sometimes.
Alfred doesn't want to miss the big moment.
Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry.
Can you see them?
Widać.
Sure you can see them. There are a few, it worked.
Udało się.
Really nice, isn't it?
Ładnie pan to ma, naprawdę.
It is. Thanks to you, there will be more of them again.
Where there's a habitat, there are birds.
Restoring wetlands, promoting biodiversity, reintroducing endangered species. In the village of Rozwarowo, people have started to make more room for nature. The aquatic warblers will soon migrate south, as the first cranes are already doing.
One of our projects is coming to an end, but we will soon be starting a new one. For this next project, we're planning 3 more translocations on an even larger scale, not only here in our country, but also in other countries, for example in Germany.
I'm happy this is happening, that such rare birds are nesting here, and that we're doing everything we can to preserve their habitat. It really is like a fairy tale, and I really enjoy coming here.
Żyjąc tutaj, przychodzę i odpoczywać też.